Today we're going to be doing some spooky Starry Night lessons. Starry Night is the painting that you can see behind me, and Starry Night was made by the famous painter Vincent van Gogh. Next, I'm going to tell you about the Starry Night stations that you can choose from today. If you would like to do an online activity, go to your computer and choose your grade level, and then choose the link that says Starry Night. On that page, you may rewatch the video, Katie and the Starry Night. You may click here to do a Starry Night puzzle. You may watch a Starry Night animation. If you click here or here, you can explore a map of the night sky. And last, there's a video on how to draw shooting stars. For students who choose to do how to draw shooting stars, I will put some materials out on one of the tables so that you can take a paper and pencil back to your computer to draw. This activity might be too hard for kindergarten and first grade. This station is the spooky skull station. Here you can draw a human skull. You can take one of the skulls out of the basket to set down next to your paper as you draw. There are step-by-step directions that you can follow, and you may use the blank paper, colored pencils, or regular pencils to make your picture. When you're finished, all of the skulls should go back in the basket, all of the how to draw papers back on the stack, and all of the pencils back in the baskets. This station is the Starry Night Art Station. Here you can create a star in the style of Vincent van Gogh. Here are some of Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night pictures. When you're finished, your project will look something like this. Here, you take a pattern, you put it on top of a black piece of paper, use your pencil to trace, get a pair of scissors to cut. Don't forget to throw your scrap in the garbage and put your scissors and pencil back in the basket. Then, the next thing that you're going to do is you may use the oil pastels to draw stars, swirls, a moon. This black shape right here is a tree branch from a tree called a cypress tree. When you're drawing, you might make dotted lines, swirls, you might draw the moon, you might make circles around the stars to make them look like they're glowing. Use your own ideas. You may keep your star to take home, or if you'd like me to hang it up in the hallway, put your star in the white tub and I will save them to hang in the hall. But if you want me to hang it in the hall, be sure to put your name on the back. Thank you. This station is the PlayDoh Sparkly Glittery Starry Night Station. Here you'll be experimenting with making sculptures and adding texture to see if you can make a Starry Night picture. Here you'll be doing this for fun. You will not be taking home the Play-Doh. You'll just be making the sculptures and experimenting with texture. So the first thing you do is you choose one container of Play-Doh and set it down, whichever one you want, set it down in front of you and open it up to get out the Play-Doh that you are going to use. Then you may use cookie cutters and rolling pins to make some different shapes. Let me show you how. So, you take your Play-Doh, pinch a piece off. You can flatten it out with your hand. You can use the rolling pin to make it flatter. Just roll it back and forth. We don't eat the Play-Doh. We also be careful not to put it on the floor. If you drop a piece, pick it up right away. Here's how you make a shape with a cookie cutter. You lay it on top of your Play-Doh, press it down, and then take the extra Play-Doh off, and you will have a shape. If you want to, you can also add some texture to your star. I have some shapes, like I have some noodles. You just press it, lift it up, press it, lift it up. You don't leave the noodle stuck to your shape. You just use it to make a texture. And then you always put the noodle back into the cup that it goes in. You can also use these little wooden shapes to make texture by making dots on your Play-Doh. I also put a cup out with some paper clips. You can use these to make texture on your Play-Doh. When you finish making a shape, lift it up and lay it down on the cookie tray. Here's another thing you can do with your Play-Doh. You can take a piece of Play-Doh and you can put it down and you can roll it back and forth with your fingers to make a long, skinny cylinder shape. You can roll it up into a swirl. If you want to, you can use the tools to add some texture, like that. When you're finished, you lay it down on the cookie sheet to add to our Starry Night design. So it might look like that. When you're finished, whichever color of Play-Doh you were using, you gather up all of those shapes. So see, I got all the dark blue ones. I squish it up, I add it to my other dark blue, and I put it back in the container, and I put the lid on tight. I put that back in the middle of the table. So when you're finished, you clean up your color. Whoever was using yellow puts it back in the yellow container. You put all the cookie cutters and rolling pins back in the tub, and you put all the texture tools back in their cups. This station is going to be the Spooky Night Shadow Station. Here you can use flashlights along with some different objects to make some shadows to create a piece of art. First, choose your object. Get a towel. You're going to need that to prop up the flashlight, and get a flashlight. Also, choose which color of paper you would like to use. Get a piece of tape to tape the piece of paper up, and a pencil. Next, you're going to set up your shadow creation station like this. Underneath one of the areas where the computers are, you set up the flashlight on the towel, turn it on, and aim your flashlight toward the object you chose. You can move the object closer or farther away to create a shadow. Next, you take a pencil and you're going to trace all along the outside of your shadow. When you're finished tracing, you might have a shadow drawn on your paper that looks something like this. Next, pick up all of your objects and put them back on the table in the correct bins. Be sure to shut the flashlight off. Last, you can use the markers that are on the table to trace your lines on the shadow and add any details that you would like. You may take your paper home with you. At this station, you can make your own Starry Night picture using the objects in one of these boxes. See if you can arrange the things in the box to look like Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night picture. All you have to do is move around the things inside of the box to make your picture. You can swirl the beads around in spirals. You can move the stars where you'd like them. If you would like to make a stop motion video using a Starry Night theme, here's how to do it. Set up an iPad stand around your Starry Night box using 2 boxes of Kleenex, a rack, and put the iPad on top. The app that you can use to make stop motion videos is called Lego Movie. Even though we're not using Legos, that's the stop motion app. When you go into the stop motion app, you tap where it says make a movie. Then you can type a title, you can add your name, and then pick done. Once you do that, you can tap the screen on the iPad to take a picture. Put the iPad where you want it to be so that you can see your Starry Night scene, and then you tap the screen to take a picture, and then you move the objects inside of the box just a little bit. After you move them a little bit, you tap the screen to take another picture. The key is to keep the iPad still on top of the rack. Don't move the iPad. Only move the objects inside of the box. The more pictures you take, the better your stop motion video will look. If you'd like to preview your stop motion video, choose the triangle play button. When you're finished, pick done. If you'd like to save your stop motion video, all you need to do is pick the save button up here in the top corner. I hope you have fun.